Thank you, Whip. Our country was shocked the day before Thanksgiving to see just a senseless, violent act of this tragedy attack on our National Guardsmen here in D.C., the West Virginia National Guardsmen that were both attacked for just doing their jobs and keeping D.C. safe. I, too, want to extend my prayers and sympathy to Sarah Beckstrom's family for the horrible loss of her life and just senseless loss of life for such a young girl with great promise. And then, of course, Andrew Wolf, who is still at the hospital fighting for his life from the gunshot wounds that he suffered. And we keep him in our prayers, his family as well, and pray that he is able to recover and come back. And I know the people of West Virginia share that. The people of America share those prayers. This week we have a number of bills we're bringing to the floor to continue to address some of the problems that were created by the Biden administration that drove up inflation, that drove up higher costs. We saw so many ridiculous rules and regulations that added cost to the products we buy, our small businesses that were under attack. And so this week we're bringing a number of bills to reduce those regulatory attacks on small businesses. Giving small businesses relief also gives families relief in terms of lower costs. We're going to bring more bills that came out of the Education Committee to take on what is happening in our universities and our schools, where the Chinese Communist Party tries to move Confucius Institutes into our schools, teaching our children, trying to put communist ideas into our children in our schools. And so we're going to continue to have more transparency and prohibit that kind of money coming in from China to our schools. We're bringing the SCORE Act to give some structure. Over the years, you've seen lawsuits erode the ability for the NCAA to even police college athletics, to the point where now it's the wild, wild west. There are no rules in place, no structure. You have people that can play until they're 26 years old in college athletics. You don't have any protections for a lot of the student athletes. And so we first restore the ability for policing through the NCAA. Congress won't be doing the regulations. It will be the NCAA having the ability to police college athletics again. We also protect women's sports. We protect Olympic sports by ensuring that you have an equal number of women's sports to men's sports, that you have a minimum number of sports, so that a lot of the Olympic sports that are so important to our country, as we see the Olympics coming up here again. In many cases, our Olympians come from the college ranks, and so we protect that too. And again, just putting structure in place for what is right now wild, wild west atmosphere. And we're going to continue to work on healthcare proposals to ensure that families have choices and lower premiums. That's what Republicans care about. Democrats have never cared about that since they passed the Affordable Care Act and all the broken promises and lies that went with it. If you like what you have, you can keep it. Probably the most broken promise in all of politics, where millions of families lost the good health care plans that they liked because of the Affordable Care Act. And of course, there's nothing affordable about the Affordable Care Act. All we've seen is increased cost, 80% premium increases. Democrats just concerned about bailing out insurance companies who get record profits, while families see higher premiums because of that failed law. What we want to do is give families options, lower premiums for families. And again, we've brought some bills to the floor already. We're going to keep bringing bills to the floor to do those two things, to lower premiums for families and give them options so that they can get what's best for their families. They don't have to be enforced into a plan that the government tells them they have to be in, that's too expensive for them and doesn't work for their family. They can buy whatever they want that makes sense for them and for their family. So we're going to continue to work on that too as we move an aggressive agenda, and that agenda is led by our Speaker, Mike Johnson.